Welcome back as we move on to the practical procedures involved in cable preparation for SWA type cables. Most cables require specific preparation whenever they are to be terminated, secured, or jointed. In this section, we shall be demonstrating typical procedures. We stress, however, that whenever and wherever possible, you follow the specific instructions provided by cable accessory manufacturers for the product being used, and the cable stripping dimensions provided. The objective of preparing a cable end is to remove the layers of sheath, armoring, bedding, and insulation in a prescribed way and to specific dimensions. To achieve this result, you will most often need to use both measuring and cutting tools, along with some simple marking out aids. At this stage, it should be mentioned that cutting tools must be sharp, as dull tools end up causing accidents. Sharp knives in the hands of experienced electricians can be used in virtually any situation which involves the removal of PVC or other soft materials. However, if you're not already experienced in the use of a sharp knife, then it is suggested that you perform your cuts as demonstrated, using a cutting board or rubber board whenever practically possible. In virtually all industrial applications, a cable is secured, at the installation, by a cable gland situated at the point of cable entry. For purposes of explanation of principles, we have selected a 4-core armored cable for the supply to our motor. The cable must first be approximated into position at the furthermost terminal, and the point of entry be marked as the starting point for cable stripping. Because we want to work neatly, the entry position is first marked off and a wrap of tape used to provide a cutting guide. With the aid of a sharp knife, a ring cut is made through the sheath against the edge of our marker tape. Care is taken to prevent the blade scraping the wire armoring, as this would dull it. A longitudinal cut is then carefully made, and the sheath peeled away to expose its armoring. Dealing now with the armoring, first we measure off and mark the desired cutting position, which is usually established by a specified dimension depending upon the gland used. A wrap or two of insulation tape at the cutting point is used both to mark the ring cutting position and to help secure the armors during cutting. Note that we do not cut all the way through the wires, as we don't want to damage the bedding layer beneath. To remove the armor wires, one simply bends 3 or 4 wires at a time to break them off at the ring cut. A point to remember when removing the armoring on ECC type cables is to preserve the copper conductor strands by bending them back, thereby preventing them from being accidentally removed. Now we have to deal with the bedding layer, which is first measured and marked to the desired or specified length. A sharp knife is again employed to make a ring cut against the marker. You will require practice to develop the feel required to make a cut without penetrating the core insulation below the bedding. Any damage caused by the knife blade to the core insulation creates a potential hazard, and in terms of the regulations, such damage renders the cable unsafe and unfit to use. A longitudinal cut is next made. This cut, too, must be made carefully to avoid cutting into the conductors. The cut is not made all the way through the bedding, so as not to damage the conductors beneath. Once the cut has been made, the bedding can be peeled off to expose the conductor cores. A properly prepared cable end appears neatly finished and will greatly assist the safety and efficiency of the cable installation into the apparatus. During this program, we have demonstrated some typical procedures of cable preparation using SWA cabling. Other cable types, for example, paper-lead medium voltage cables, and XLPE types do require certain different techniques during their preparation. These procedures will be demonstrated in other programs in this series, dealing with those specific cables during jointing or termination procedures. Practice the preparation of SWA-type cables, as demonstrated, in your own work area to conclude this overview. Join us again in other Tech AV programs where you can learn more about your chosen trades.